So S.O.G Prairie Fire released today, which is the latest community DLC for Arma 3 that focuses on the Vietnam War. It is by far the largest CDLC to date and offers a huge array of equipment, vehicles, and missions that are all super high quality. Now I could go on and on about everything in Prairie Fire, however I want to look at the brand new game mode Mike Force that comes with the DLC. So what exactly is Mike Force? Well, let me explain. Mike Force is like Liberation with a twist. You start out with a couple of bases to operate out of, and your objective is to take over all enemy bases on the map. Now these bases are big areas all over the map that have a lot of enemy troops, artillery, anti-air, and headquarters that all need to be eliminated in order to progress. Once the enemy assets are eliminated, or even when they're being eliminated, the enemy will counterattack, so it's important to have FOBs or forward operating bases in the area to hold your ground and act as a spawn for infantry. Now this is all pretty similar to Liberation, but Prairie Fire approaches the situation in a unique way by having different teams that have different roles. There are a total of 4 teams that I'll break down now. The first is Mike Force, which are the regular infantry. Their job is to attack, clear, and hold objectives on the ground. Next is ACAV, or Armored Cavalry. They are the engineers and truck drivers who build the FOBs and deliver supplies along the roads. Now remember the words build and supplies because I am going to go into more detail about that later. The next team are the Green Hornets, which are the pilots. They fly transport, close air support, and logistics in a variety of aircraft. The final team is Spike Team, who are the behind-the-lines Special Forces guys who try and locate enemy facilities and destroy them. Now supplies are an important aspect in playing and being successful in Mike Force. Like Liberation, when you first spawn in at one of the main bases, there is an arsenal where you can grab any and all of the equipment you could ever need. Now it is obviously important to define some roles for your team so you have dedicated medics and such, but it is also important for you to be aware of what supplies are necessary for you specifically. Ammunition is always important, but Mike Force also has a hunger and thirst mechanic, meaning that canteens and rations are important to have on you. Also, those snakes we've seen forever in Arma now actually bite. So keep an eye out for them and kill them if you have to, but if you do get bit, make sure you have anti-venom or you're going to be limping your way all the way back to base. Beyond regular supplies, there are construction crates that need to be brought to the ACAV guys in order for them to get a FOB built. Building is another unique mechanic introduced in Mike Force that allows players to create their own defenses with trenches, sandbags, emplacements, etc., and the building is really well implemented, sort of operating like the building in Fallout 4 if you remember that. This is such a cool feature in my opinion because it allows the players to decide where and what to build, making each FOB unique purely based on terrain and positioning. Now that we've gone over some of the basics, let's talk about the general pacing in a Mike Force session. After everyone is kitted up and has chosen their teams, you need to pick an objective to attack. Now usually there are objective markers over specific enemy areas that say things like destroy enemy AA or destroy enemy HQ that give you a good indicator of which area is important. If you're just starting a fresh session, infantry can usually walk or ride with ACAV and start pushing, or if it's far out they will need to get the Green Hornets to fly them in. It's important for ACAV to be covered or in a safe position while they build the FOB, or the infantry will keep having to run or fly back to the area instead of just spawning there. Now as mentioned, in order to build, ACAV will need construction supplies, and in order to keep fighting, Mike Force will need medical and ammo crates. This means it is super important to have a steady stream of supplies flown or driven into the areas being attacked, or the VC will overrun the positions and you will have to start over again. Once a FOB is built and the area is secure, you will need to remain there to hold off a counterattack, which is a big deal. Waves and waves of VC will relentlessly attack you and you will need to hold for as long as possible. Green Hornets can assist with close air support and radio operators can call in fire support on the ground. Once you've defeated an enemy counterattack, you can move on to the next objective and eventually remove the VC from Cam Lao Nam. Now that's basically the gist of Mike Force, and I hope it helped you get a little more acquainted with the game mode. For me, it was one of my favorite things during the beta testing, and I put in some serious hours flying with the Green Hornets. I've played Arma for quite a long time and honestly was starting to get a little tired with it, but for me, Prairie Fire and especially Mike Force reignited my fire for Arma because of just how well done and unique it is as a game mode, because no session will ever be the same as another one. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more Prairie Fire content or have any questions about the CDLC, feel free to let me know down below. Thanks for watching.